Let's just take a look around. Hey, Kenneth Wheeler, why don't you talk a little bit about the P900 and its level? I'm very ignorant when it comes to photography and cameras. You can help, and you have been helping people understand. So maybe if you wouldn't mind, help me out, please. Obviously, I've seen one other P900 that's obviously a lot less sensitive than mine. So the auto level, the green line, the green dot, and all that stuff, and horizon above center, below center. If you have any thoughts on that, feel free. Yeah, more More NASA debunk from Mr. Thrive and Survive. Like, we really need more of that. Right. You don't want to address me or concave Earth, right? No, of course not. You have to go back to foolishness. And then there's Shelley Renee, or Shelley, what was her first name? Shelley Renee or Shelley Lewis. Oh, right. Yeah, Lewis, supposedly. She's another weasel. Does gravity make people fall in love? Huh. Ah, right. Yeah, she told me she wouldn't ever forgive me. All you flat trolls know everything about my life, which is fine. Have at it. Give me a call. Don't be scared. Most of you won't even sacrifice money for the truth. What makes you think you're going to give up your life? Fake ass truthers. Unreal. The wages of truth. Flat, out elected. So his title tells you that the earth isn't flat, but yet he promotes a flat earth. Meatball. And another fake right here. Won't bother calling me. Acts like he's a truther, won't call one. Has to avoid them. These flats are all frauds. Every one of them. Frauds. At this point, if you're still a flat earther, you're a fraud. Period. You're not being honest with, even if you're only frauding yourself. You're scamming yourself if you still believe the earth is flat. Period. That's fucking awesome. So I'm going to get into some information. I'm not just going to look at thumbnails and titles, but it's important to at this point because, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this flat earth thing's being run by the same military that has access to all your texts and voicemails and messages and anything you do on social media. Anything you do with an electronic device, the military has access to, and they're the ones running flat earth. They're the ones hiding Antarctica from you. If we have access to Antarctica, we prove the midnight sun. We prove the circumference of Antarctica. And we prove the earth is not flat. They're not hiding Antarctica from you because it's an ice ring and they're trying to hide flat earth from you. They have to hide Antarctica to promote flat earth. Flat earth won't work if we have access to Antarctica. Hello? It's almost like Trump building a wall to keep immigrants from coming in. No, if they build a wall, it's to keep us from leaving. Hello? They're trying to keep us in here. It's a prison. Wake up. You don't live on a flat earth. Fucking foolishness. Excuse my French. It's absolute foolishness. What's not foolish is looking into it. There's nothing wrong with researching flat Earth. Researching flat Earth is there to show you live inside the sphere. You live inside a stationary creation. God's at the center. That's why flat Earth is here. It's not there as truth. It's just like the Bible. The Bible isn't there as truth. The Bible is supposed to lead you to the truth. Same thing with flat Earth and the Bible, 24/7. They have the same goal, flat Earth and the Bible. They're both lies, but they're both there to lead you to the truth. How people can't see that blows my mind. All right. Exaggerated here, but I'm going to kill this music. I've got someone in the live chat that has a question, so I'm going to address it. Okay. So somebody in the chat says, what's now with the shoreline over a boat? Can you test your claim on a flat floor? I don't see how that makes any sense at all. At all. Okay, sure. Yeah, you can put a camera near the floor, but you have to understand that the size of your camera relative to the room that you're in is not going to give you an accurate perspective on it's not going to be the same. The size of my camera and my perspective stretching across a body of water. Hold on one second. If I open this again, it'll probably pull up the other place I was at. Across a body of water that's miles and miles and miles. Oh, it didn't. All right. Anyway, I don't need that anyhow. I can go like this. Here we go. So I'm just going to play this, if it'll play. But the point is that... All right, Nayland, so I went back and did that a second time. The first time... Go back to the beginning. All right. So the question, I'll restate the question. Can you, can you test your claim on a flat floor? Can you claim the horizon cannot be above a boat? Yes. Yes, very simple. Okay, so if you have a flat floor, okay, and you have your camera altitude is 2 inches, hypothetically, okay, and so you've got your camera parallel with the floor. Yeah, I'm gonna stop screen sharing for a minute so that you can watch me explain this. Okay, so I think everyone can see me. All right, so now if you have a flat floor, right, a flat surface like this, we'll just take this flat surface, okay? Now, let's say you have an object on that surface that's yay tall. You know, I'll just grab something, okay? I'll just grab this thing. All right, so if I've got an object that's this tall on a flat surface, okay, if my camera altitude is lower altitude than the top of this, let's say this is 1 inch, okay, I have an object that's 1 inch above this surface right here. 1 inch. From here to here is 1 inch. Follow? If my camera is only half an inch in altitude, I should zoom in to the side of this object on a flat surface. My camera altitude would have to be higher than this object to see over the object on a flat surface. Do you get it? Do you understand that my camera altitude was 5 inches and the boat is taller than 5 inches? So on a flat surface, I should be zooming into the side of the damn boat. Now, what the hell is so complicated about that, folks? Why is that so difficult to understand? My altitude on a flat surface would have to be higher than the boat to see over the boat if the boat is on a flat surface. The reason I can see from one shoreline to another over the boat is because the boat is lower than my line of sight, and that's not possible on a flat surface or a convex one. It's only possible for one shoreline and the other shoreline for me to see from one shoreline to the other over the boat is if the boat is inside the concavity. If the water's flat, I'm going to zoom into the side of the freaking boat. Okay, Mr. Hair. So, can you claim that the horizon cannot be above a boat? Yes, I just did. If my camera on a flat surface is lower than the boat, I should not be able to see the shoreline above the boat. That's such a ridiculous question. It really makes you look like a disingenuous person because nobody's that stupid. Nobody. If you can't understand that you have to be taller than an object to see over that object, right? You ever been in a movie theater and the guy in front of you is tall and you can't see over his head? Well, in a movie theater, not everybody's on a flat surface, right? So because I can't see over his head means the movie theater, all the seats in the movie theater is a flat surface because I'm looking into his head? No, it just means that the object in front of me is taller and I can't see over it unless I rise. If I stand up, then I can see over the guy in front of me his head, and now I can see the movie screen. Very simple. So if water was flat, I would have had to raise my camera higher than the boat to see over the boat. Otherwise, I'm just going to zoom into the side of the freaking boat if water's flat. All right, moving on, because I'm not entertaining that foolishness anymore. Yeah. Instead of asking all these ridiculous questions, why don't you just go out and try to prove me wrong? Why are you asking questions? If you don't trust me, then why are you even asking me questions? Number one, you shouldn't be asking foolish questions like that. Number two, I don't want your trust. You can take your trust and shove it. I don't care about your trust. Trusting people is how we got in this mess to begin with. What I want you to do is go do it for yourself and then come back and tell me I'm wrong. Go do it. Try to get your camera below 4-inch altitude without zooming into any waves. Go ahead. Try to show me optical or measurable evidence of any convexity or flatness. Go ahead. Instead of asking me stupid questions, bring me the evidence. Instead of bringing me your foolish, stupid questions. I understand this theory, yes, but I am not sure about it. I have to see an experiment on a long floor because nothing is sure anymore. There's no reason to say I am stupid or something like this. Okay, right. Well, if you want to see an experiment on a long floor, then do it. Why are you asking me to show you you don't have flat floors anywhere where you are? Mr. Her. I mean, it's right there in his title. Why are you asking me to show you footage of of something on a flat floor. You're probably standing on a flat floor right now asking me to show you a flat floor. You're a fool. And I'm a fool for even entertaining your stupid ass questions. I'm not going to entertain your questions anymore. Done with these clowns. All right, moving on. So now I'm going to show, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to show this dumbass that I actually did do this experiment. And it's at this very channel. So if he had taken, so I'm just going to expose this her person as a fraud, as a fake, just a troll, just someone there to waste my time, gain attention or whatever. I'll just take you to my channel and show you that I've already done this on this very channel. So he's gonna try to bring me some flat Earth knowledge. He's gonna try to debunk concave with this perspective and experiments on a flat surface and all this rhetoric. I've already done that. Here you go. Here you go. All right. We've got a level tripod. We've got a level camera. We've got a level table. So you'll actually see here that's wrong. I don't think I had a level camera left to right because you can see here the table, or the table is off. The table's wood, so the table is, whatever. But as you can see, you can back up here. I wasn't yet aware that the P900 had a little auto level in there. And so if I had, I would have definitely done that with this experiment. Right here, you can see I'm not using the auto leveler. And if I had known about it back when I did this back in, when was this? March 12th. Published March 12th, 2018. Okay. So a little over a year ago, just before I came. It was actually, wouldn't you know it, Sam knows, March 12th, 2018. That's right before I became a concave earther. Like right before I had a conversation. I had been seeing concave more and more and more. And I had a conversation with Sam, I think on March 29th. But it was actually this experiment in collaboration with parts 2 and 3. This was the first one. And then part 2 and part 3. Zoom experiment, perspective demonstrated. Okay, so we can watch this, and you can see that I have, in fact, already done this thing on a flat surface with the camera like that, on a flat surface. And yes, you can still get objects to appear like they are going over a curve on a flat surface. So if it's possible to make it look like it's going over a curve on a flat surface due to perspective, well, why wouldn't perspective still be true inside concave Earth, the vanishing point of convergence? Why does that have to only be true for flat Earth? Look, there you go. See? On a flat surface, you can cause an object to be eclipsed. Unless you go above the surface. If you're right there, I probably should have drew a line, center frame, So I could have done a better job with this experiment. But the point is that you can still have objects appear to be eclipsed, like someone walking down a football field, or when I recorded Jibby walking across the dam, Anytime you have, so the flat earthers are right. If you're just walking along, it's going to look like it's being eclipsed. Even though it's not a convex surface, you can still have objects appear to be eclipsed over a flat surface. So the same would be true inside concave Earth. Understanding perspective doesn't prove a flat Earth. Hello? You're being tricked into thinking that you live on a flat Earth because they're just showing you perspective. Okay, well, this is me. I was a flat earther. I did the perspective experiment, and I'm telling you the Earth is concave, you dumbass. What about that? Don't you understand? Attack. Look what I asked and what he called me. Do you think this is normal, really? No, it's not normal. I'm not here to be normal. I'm here to expose frauds and snakes and clowns and liars and trolls and scumbags like you who just want to try to muddy the waters and waste people's time with foolishness. You're not a genuine person if you can't even understand that the footage I showed is concave water. And you just want to ask me foolish questions and say, oh, can't you do that on a flat surface? You can do it on a flat surface, but you're asking me to do it for you. Which means you don't care about the truth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the internet asking simple-ass questions. You would just be doing it yourself. So because you're not going to do it yourself, you don't deserve my attention. You don't deserve a response. You deserve to be called a dumbass and a fool and all these things. It's not because I hate you. I love you. And this is what's going to help you. This is what's going to help you make you realize that you need to stop acting like that. And it's going to help everybody else who watches this understand that people who ask questions like you, foolish questions, you're there to waste people's time. You're not there to learn. You're not there to help anybody. So I'm letting the audience know, watch out for people like this character. You can just go away. I'm not even going to block you or censor you. You can just feel free to stay and leave your stupid comments, or you can feel free to just leave and go bother somebody else's live stream. Okay? All right, Nayland. So I went back and did that a second time. The first time I had, measured to about here. I don't know if you can see that. I had measured to about here, just giving myself the least amount of slack. But when I actually considered it, I redid it this time. I put the 0 over here, the starting point right here at St. Clair Shores, right here at Veterans Memorial Park. This is actually Masonic Drive right here. This is the name of the street, is Masonic. Very interesting. But actually, to the land, it's probably about 13 miles. I'm not sure exactly which part of the land I'm seeing here, but I think this is all like underwater, like marsh and grass and just underwater shit. But I mean, this is the land over here, not really over here. So this is probably, these boats are probably, good 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 miles out here in the middle. And they're obviously in the concavity, inside the dip of the water. All right, Nayland. So I went back and did that a second time. The dark sun. Ooh. This is made for Joshua. Okay, so this is just what Spotify recommends or whatever. Cool. Oh, wow. Huh. Fantasticizer. Huh. Okay. Interesting symbolism here, though, don't you think? Huh. That's interesting. The dark sun this time. Yeah, here you go. So I'm just going to leave this on the screen for about 15, 20 seconds just to really let it sink in. Oh, this is Nathan Oakley in Concavity. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Handler, that's funny. Yeah, so horizon always rises to eye level on a flat surface, right? Sure it does. Sure it does. Horizon always rises to eye level on a flat earth. McFly. Yeah, if you angle your camera downwards while you're rising, then yeah, you can see the horizon, but that's not eye level. Eye level would mean parallel with the flat Earth. The horizon does not rise to your eye level on a flat Earth if you ascend. You will still have to look down to see a horizon. You're busted, flat Earth. You're a scam artist. I've got you by the balls. I appreciate all the other concavers' work. It's mostly theirs that brought me this information. That being said, if they all went away right now, I could destroy flat Earth by myself. And I'm prepared to do that. You understand? This is not a star. And this boat is below the shoreline. Look, I even paused it at this is a great snapshot because this wave is almost like right there with the boat. And I'm only 2 or 3 inches. So how is this water flat? Shouldn't this boat be up here? No, the boat's down here, below the shoreline. I've got the top of this wave that's right there. I mean, look where my camera is. How is the top of this wave center frame of my camera? I got this wave center frame. And the shoreline's here, and the boat is below this wave. Think about that for a minute. This boat is below this wave, or, right? You understand how this water cannot be flat? If the shoreline is above the boat, and if you think I'm nuts, here you can listen to Ernie explain it. All right.
National Geographic lied to everybody and said it's the one where the National Geographic lied to everybody and said the boat was disappearing over the curve when the water line was behind the boat and a boat.
Okay, so did you hear that? The water line is behind the boat.
Theodora, a lot of times I'm not reading the chat. This time, I addressed one of those comments. Most of the time, it depends what I'm doing. You know, if I'm just like if I'm live narrating another video, no, I'm not looking at the chat. Or if I have people on the panel, then a lot of times, no, I'm not even looking at the chat. This time, I glance at. Sometimes I forget to look at the chat. To be honest, I'm focused on what I'm doing, so I don't worry about the comments in the chat. You know, it's cool that you guys network and share information and stuff, bounce ideas off each other in the chat. That's cool, but I'm more focused on what I'm presenting to the other people who are watching, the people who are watching, learning that aren't commenting.
and above it, okay? Let's see if we...
It's the one where the National Geographic lied to everybody and said the boat was disappearing over the curve when the water line was behind the boat and above.
Okay, so did you hear that? The water line is behind the boat and above it, okay? Let's see if we can get this out of full screen mode because my resolution's off right now. This is what he's talking about right here, everybody. He's telling you that the water line is visible behind the boat, all right? So you've got the boat here. This is not the Salton Sea. This is Joshua's video, the Hutton Island to Winthrop. The ocean line, or sorry, the shoreline is behind the boat, okay? Listen to what Nathan's going to continue to tell you.
Okay. Well, I guess I was more or less asking for its actual physical location because I'm pretty familiar with it.
In Southern California, it's got the second lowest elevation next to Death Valley. So it's like,
No, that's fine. I wasn't doubting like whether or not it's a real place. I was just curious about that.
yeah. So yeah, that's where I was with the Nat Geo thing. They lied for everybody. But then let's
I
say
did lie, but all right.
I was there, and the water line was above the boat. So it can't be going over a curve. It's the horizon. It's above the boat.
All right, did you guys hear that? So there's two things that he's saying, okay? You can't be going over this curve right here that everybody thinks they live on if the horizon is visible over the boat. However, he's got to drop the bomb right here. Flat Earth is not going to recover from this.
I mean, okay, so I guess I'm not. Like, a little visual. It's
Love at Flat Earth.
I mean, so really grasp what you're saying.
Okay, well, let me go through a couple more of these. Then you can go over it. But the water line is above the back of the boat. And I'm saying it's disappearing behind the curve. So it's got to be like falling into a hump in the middle of the lake or something.
Oh! What the fuck did he just say? Hold on a second. What?
A hump in the middle of the lake or something.
What?
The back of the boat. And they're saying it's disappearing behind the curve. So it's got to be like falling into a hump in the middle of the lake or something.
Oh, Nathan Johnson, dude, you may have spoke more truth in that sentence than in all the bullshit we've all spouted together. Because,
Myself included.
you're right, if you can see the horizon behind the boat just like this, then the water must be making it's concave. We'll keep playing because he says it again.
So I'll go down a second. You did what the Green Lakes look like. You said that later in your video. But you said water and reflections off water are core mirrors. Exact word. It's the one where the National Geographic lied to everybody and said the boat was disappearing over the curve when the water line was behind.
All right. So for those of you who don't understand, I'm going to play this one too. This really, and that's why I'm not doing any more uploads to this channel right now, is because this sequence of videos right here, well, maybe not this one. I mean, this is hugely important. I'm just saying like these particular videos right here, if people watch this one and then they watch this one and then they watch this one, they're going to seriously be questioning their habitat. So let's watch this one. It's very important to understand the bending light within the earth. And it doesn't, yes, in this example here, yes, this is obviously very exaggerated because if this is the entire flat earth, it doesn't matter. This is obviously not to scale. So that another foolish question by her. He says, let's see in the chat, he says here, let's see, why do you show people that the horizon has to drop on the flat earth when this drop would be so less you have to go up for 1,000 miles to see the drop? No, you wouldn't. It doesn't matter whether you're going up 100 feet or 100 miles. You're still going to have to look down to see the horizon. It doesn't matter that this isn't to scale. You're talking about a flat surface. So even at 5 feet altitude, looking straight across like this, you should never see the horizon at eye level. It doesn't matter if you're in a hot air balloon or on your knees, or if you have a camera that's 2 inches over the water, 3 inches, 4 inches, whatever. Your horizon would never be above your eye level. Even if you're laying on your belly, looking across a flat floor, you should never see the horizon at your eye level on a flat earth. It doesn't make any sense. But you would if light was bending up on a concave surface. So, yeah, there's just more. I mean, thank you for asking these foolish questions, because I guess you're showing me the foolishness of the arguments of the flat earth community. Whoever the hell you are, you're basically, all right, so I'm sorry, maybe you're not so dumb, maybe you're doing this to help me because you're providing these weak ass questions and explanations, and you're just helping me expose the foolishness of flat earth. So that might be your intent and your goal. You might actually be helping me. You know, a very wise man once told me, before you complain about something, make sure it doesn't help you. So even with that in consideration, I love you, Sam. Sam's a good dude. He really is. I think. Listen, this is the truth community. We don't trust this. We don't trust each other at all, and which is wise. You shouldn't. So let's go ahead with this video.
The W is the shape of water.
Oh, by the way, this video I'm showing you, this is a mirror, I think. Yeah. This is Sam's video, which you can find actually. We'll just watch his. Not that it matters. I don't even think it matters. But here, check out his channel. Look at the information he has. He's got information to share. So there we go. All right.
Water, you can remember the water shape. The W is the shape of water. So W is water because it's shaped like water. And also M for mountain. So they were teaching children to look at the letter and relate it to an actual symbol, a hieroglyph of something, which when you think of water, you can remember the water shape. It's easy because it's just like water.
All right, folks, what I got here is a level P900. I've leveled it on both this x-axis and the y-axis. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to zoom out. And you're going to see that as I zoom out, the horizon rises and we're zooming into water. And as I zoom out more, the horizon raises even more, relative to the center of frame. And as I zoom out more, the horizon raises more and more and more until the horizon's not even the frame anymore. As I zoom back in, horizon lowers.
If you center a camera on an object and then you just merely zoom in, what you find out is the center object you were centered on is no longer in the center. And the reason why is because of bending light.
If your visibility is diminished, then you can't see as far. So if there's upwards curvature, the further you can see, the horizon is going to be higher, the further you can see because it's curving upwards. So this camera itself has a level. And so you can see that when the camera is perfectly level and when it's not. I can also tilt it this way and that way, and it'll tell me that my camera's not level. So we got a level camera on both axes, and we're zooming into water. And I've proved that the camera's level, and we're still zooming into water.
the same with a ship that appears to be going over the horizon. It's not actually going over the horizon. With your naked eye, it appears as if a ship is going over a horizon. However, if you get your camera out and you zoom in on the ship's hull is still there and you can see the whole ship.
W. Water.
Stake 1 has the laser 30 centimeters above the water. Stake 2, he has the laser centered on that stake at 30 centimeters above the water. Then they sailed to the center between the two stakes, and they were going to measure how high the laser was above the water using another stake. Okay, so my friends sailed back to my position. Together we made a measurement in the middle of the distance between the two stakes. The measurement showed that the distance from the water surface to the beam was 39 to 40 centimeters. We decided to check if everything was okay with the laser and the stakes. Everything was still perfectly fine. We made another measurement in the middle and it showed the same thing as previously. The beam was about 40 centimeters above the water surface. So in other words, on both ends, the laser was 30 centimeters above the surface of the water on both shorelines. However, in the center, the laser was 40 centimeters above the water surface, which would indicate the water actually curved like this. So it actually showed that the lake had some sort of concavity to it of 10 centimeters in the center. So if you go 1 kilometer, you go down 10 centimeters in arc. If you're having, two stakes at equal levels above the water. So the water actually goes down 10 centimeters in concavity. So I thought this is an interesting experiment. Anybody can do this experiment. And this guy was not even a believer in concave Earth at all. And now he is.
Now, see, this is what I was telling Brian before about how not only are globe heads or convex earthers or heliocentrists, whatever, not only are they brainwashed by fisheye footage or tricked by fisheye footage, right? But so are flat earthers. Flat earthers are also fooled by fisheye footage. And I'll tell you why. Well, when they still understand that that this camera, while it goes up and down, above eye level and below eye level, and the horizon will go from convex to flat to concave. Oops. They're still brainwashed because even the fisheye camera, what it does is it tricks a flat earther into thinking that this is what they should see from a concave Earth. Why in the world are people thinking that this is what we should see in a concave Earth? You would not see this on the inside of a sphere. Why? You would still have a flat horizon inside of a sphere because there's more land here. On the convex Earth, it's dropping down and away from you, so there's not more land to see. But inside a concave Earth, you're still going to have a flat horizon because you're on the inside of a sphere, on the inside, just like this. Okay? So, you're not going to see this on the inside of a sphere. Okay? So that's how flat earthers are brainwashed by fisheye footage. Pure and simple. They're expecting to see something that doesn't even make any sense. And then they want to tell concave earthers that we're dumb because they don't see any curvature. That's how dumb the flat earthers are. They're expecting to see this in a concave Earth. Well, if we lived in a damn straw and we're looking down the tube, then maybe that's what we would expect to see. But no, we're not. I'm not claiming we live in a straw-like tube and we're looking down the tube. This is what we would expect to see if we lived in a tube. But I'm not saying we live in a tube. I'm telling you we live inside a sphere, and inside a sphere, you'd still have a flat horizon. So if you really can't understand that, then number one, you don't belong in this conversation. Number two, if you're even making that claim, you're probably not a genuine person anyways. You're just a troll.
that's what's happening on a big scale. There's a lot of air, and it's lighter. So, as you know, the heavier stuff's being pushed, what we call down, which is just outwards. And so there's a ball of air inside the hydrosphere. So this is what your mainstream model is saying, that there's a sphere on the outside of the Earth of water. But it's not, it's on the inside, being pressed down and out by the atmosphere.
So that's another that's another thing that brainwashes flat Earth is the lack of gravity.
So W is water
Because gravity has been dismissed as false. So now a flat earther will believe that any spherical shaped Earth, any spherical water is impossible simply because gravity is wrong. Okay, gravity is just a label. Gravity, the explanation of gravity is just that, an explanation. Disproving the explanation doesn't disprove spherical water. Disproving gravity only means that you're disproving how the water is spherical. It doesn't disprove spherical water. Okay? Just because you disprove the explanation provided by gravity doesn't mean that you're disproving spherical water. You're disproving the explanation of the spherical water. Hello? You guys really that stupid? Come on. You guys really that dumb? All you're doing by disproving gravity is you're disproving the explanation. And the measurements in the footage show that we're disproving the downwards curvature. No flat earther has brought forth any measurable flatness to the table. All the spherical maps work. So spherical water is not foolish. We can do it all the time. Even humans can levitate spherical globs of water. And that's exactly what Sam was just talking about, the hydrosphere. It's a ball of water above us inside the concave Earth. Yeah. And all our oceans. It's a hydrosphere too. It's a sphere of water around a sphere of water. Above and below.
shaped like water.
Not complicated.
And also M for mountain. So they were teaching children to look.
Oh. He says, don't talk about flat earthers if you claim you live in a 2D world, which I don't, and therefore the horizon cannot rise up on a flat earth. Exactly. The horizon can't rise on a flat earth. It's staying flat. See, on a convex earth, the horizon lowers, and on a concave earth, the horizon rises, and on a flat earth, the horizon does neither because it's flat. It's staying flat. It's keeping it flat. How can something that stays flat rise? How can something that stays flat drop? It can't. It's called flat earth because it's not rising or lowering. Meatball. Now get off my channel. This is so simple. You know, if I control, I'm just going to, one more stupid question like that, I am going to block you. Your explanation only fits in a 2D world. Okay. Well, spheres are not two-dimensional. So you're gone, buddy. See you later. Like that, I am going to block you. Yeah. Goodbye. Go somewhere else. Hide user on this channel. Sorry, I don't like to, you're just wasting everybody's time now. Goodbye. See you later. Go bother some other person. You're a damn fool. All right. Now that we're done with that clown, we can get on to real shit. Oops.
And then, because the sun's stopped and stationary, it's small in space. The sun and the moon is only a process for you to become unindoctrinated with conventional model of the universe. So take your time. Although there's not much time left, but take your time. Basically, everything that you were told in school is a lie. There's no rotation to the Earth, and the Earth is not convex. It curves the other way, and it encompasses the entire universe, which means that everything is small in space. The sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets are all small inside the Earth. Because I feel, according to prophecy, with this correct model of the universe, the sun can actually stop in the sky. And there's records that it stopped about 3,500 years ago. And it stopped for about 2 days. So there's legends all over the world that record this event. It's also mentioned in the Bible. So this is just the final day, final hour for the prophecy is when the sun stops. So when the sun stops, there's actually a layer of ice that's attached to this basket. And that layer of ice will break apart and fall down and unravel like a scroll and do some energy. And then, because the sun's stopped and stationary, it's producing more heat in one area, so it's going to start burning up the Earth, doomsday as we know. So that should happen less than 2 years from now. Hey, John, welcome to this phone. Haven't seen you.
All right. So another troll wants to comment. Can you please address her one more time? No, I'm not. Of course, he's not right. We live in a three-dimensional world. Yes, that's true. I never claimed that we live in a two-dimensional world because that horizon will rise up on a flat Earth. No, the horizon doesn't rise on a flat Earth. The horizon doesn't lower on a flat Earth. Goodbye. You want to get blocked too? That's fine. You can just go away. I'm not going to block you. You're gonna have to prove that you're a lot more stupid than that if you want me to block you. So keep on going on with your stupid comments. I'm not. This is why I don't pay attention to live chat, folks, is because we get all these trolls and all these dummies and all these flat promoters that want to come in and just ask all kinds of stupid, foolish questions and make all these ridiculous claims that a flat surface is rising. It's fucking dumb. A flat surface isn't curving down, and a flat surface isn't curving up. A flat surface is flat. A flat surface doesn't drop or raise. It's like really simple, and I'm not going to entertain your dumbass questions anymore. So you're gone. Screw you. See you later.
Don't allow that stuff. No.
Yeah, exactly. I don't allow that stuff.
Do I have to turn off guest channels? Yeah, I was actually, sometimes I'll do a Google search for my name. It looks like you had this little blog that you mentioned me a long time ago, a couple months ago. You still post on that blog?
All right, so this isn't really anything that's here. I haven't watched any of these videos. Let's see. Here we go.
A simple loop has two sides. You can't get from the red side to the green side without crossing the edge. If you cut the loop, twist one end by 180 degrees, or pi radians, and connect them again, you will have a Mobius strip, a mathematically non-orientable surface with only one boundary. Now you can travel along the red side to the green without going over the edge. If you twist the end again for a total of 360 degrees, or 2 pi radians, you will have a twisted loop. You again can't get from the red side to the green side. If you twist the end a third time for a total of 540 degrees, or 3 pi radians, you will again have a Mobius strip. Our demonstration is a 3 pi Mobius strip track. By the time the superconductor has gone around the loop once, it has rotated 540 degrees about its own axis. This animation shows you how to twist a loop 540 degrees to get a 3 pi Mobius strip track.
Yay! All right, let's watch something funny.
Until a month ago, you were a complete failure. But now, you're the biggest star in the world, as if by magic. How did you get here? Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Why did you write that?
I didn't write it. The Beatles wrote it.
Who?
Do you genuinely not know who the Beatles are?
Oh, yeah!
How am I the only person in the world who remembers the Beatles? Can I do this?
Brian, look, it's a Mandela effect. Oh my God, everybody doesn't know who the Beatles are.
I listened to your songs and I was wondering if you consider being the opening act. Please make some noise for Mr. Jack.
Your music, it's incredible.
I've always dreamed of being a musician. I feel like I'm living a lie.
It's going to be the greatest.
You are. All right, so I just want to see this trailer.
Years ago, I had this nice, simple life.
Terminator
Now
6.
it's a nightmare.
From the man who saved the world 5 times before. Scorcher 6. This summer.
If travel is searching, and home has been found, I'm not stopping.
Who are you?
My name is Sarah Connor. Never seen one like you before. Almost human.
I am human. Why do you care what happens to her? I'm human. Why do you care what happens to her?
Because I was her.
How do we win? We win by keeping you alive.
I'm going hunting.
Well, that was interesting. Flat Earth questions. How come you're all a bunch of liars? That's awesome. Yeah, I don't even think I'm interested in watching half this stuff anymore either. These are all old. Beep, 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 beep. Is there anyone who wants to join the panel that has any real input instead of just foolish questions? Feel free to let me know in the chat. I guess not. I guess not at all. So let's see here. Yeah, I guess I guess I'm just doing this for new viewers. Some of you that have been back here before, this really doesn't help much. I think I'm going to play this one. This is really important. Oh, by the way, this is also a mirror. I don't know what that beeping is. Go away. Go bother somebody else. You're in my earth. I'm fucking spy on somebody else. I already know what I'm doing. All right, so this is Rethink Everything channel. Actually, we'll just watch his. This is the Cave series, premiere episode 1, The Human Condition, a series of overwhelming odds. Yeah, so have at it. I'm going to go smoke and relax for a minute. I'll be back in like 10 minutes. This is a half-hour video, so I'm just going to let this run and play. And I will look in the comments section. I will be observing the live chat. So, yeah, now's your chance to be seen. I'll be looking at the live chat, so I won't miss any of your comments and stuff. Theodore, I don't know why you're always retracting your own comments. I don't get that. I don't understand. I mean, whatever. It's cool. I mean, Theodore Christopher never really says anything rude or derogatory, or I don't agree with that YouTube channel about everything. Who knows? I don't know, but anyway, interesting. Can you please stop your live stream, stand up and look at a table along full, and you will see that a flat thing will rise up. No. Hello? Hey, all right, cool. Hold on 1 second. I'm doing a live stream. I'm just going to press play on this video. I'm going to go outside and talk to you. I'm surprised I could answer the phone because you're calling me through Messenger and I can't message anybody, or I can't comment, or I can't really do anything on Facebook. I'm surprised it let me answer your call. Just give me 2 seconds to find my keys. There we go. So let me see here.
These symbols derive themselves from practically every tradition of the world. We do not like to believe that perhaps there is a whole world of things beyond our sensory perception, or outside of our ability to understand. We have to penetrate layer after layer of interpretation.
And fourth, an extraordinary illusion in which the sensory information at present is cancelled by immense knowledge derived from the past.
Imagine prisoners that have spent their entire lives chained deep inside a cave. They have been chained so that they cannot see behind themselves, and they are forced to stare endlessly at the cave wall in front of them. Behind them, a fire is burning, and between the prisoners and the fire is a raised walkway. Now imagine that each day, a menagerie of objects crosses the walkway. Animals, and people carrying their wares to market. Their shapes create an intricate shadow play on the wall in front of the prisoners. This is the only world that the prisoners have ever known. The shadows and the echoes of unseen objects. Now, imagine that a prisoner is released. After some time adjusting to the blinding light, the freed prisoner will begin to experience the world outside of the cave for the very first time. And it is like nothing he could have ever imagined. With this new perception of the world, the man will of course want to return to his friends to share his incredible discoveries. But the prisoners cannot recognize their old friend. He appears as all things do. His voice is a distorted echo, and his body is a grotesque shadow. They cannot understand his fantastic stories of the world outside of the cave. To them, it will never exist. This, of course, does not make the world outside of the cave any less real.
Some of us have either heard or asked the same two questions over the years.
Why would they lie about the shape and structure of the Earth? Why is it even important to us?
Let us first consider what's being exploited and compare it to what we've been led on to believe. The main culprits can be narrowed down to governments and corporations, and all governments are in fact corporations. The same corporations that continue to tell us
Resources are limited, but space is infinite.
they have controlled and mandated every aspect of science, education, research, and media, infiltrating every cultural paradigm and social trend to further manipulate and twist the unwitting minds of the masses. There are no limits to the length they will go to protect the brittle foundation of dominance supported only by deception and lies. Knowledge is power, and slavery begins where knowledge is withheld. Therefore, the truth about our physical reality is critical. And the only alternative has been conveniently waiting for us all along.
The Earth is flat. Why do you say that?
We live on a flat plane.
It's flat. Seeing is believing, as these globes clearly illustrate the Earth is round. Or is it?
It's flat in a pancake. They insist the Earth is, well, flat.
Is this where we find truth? Even our school system has influenced the interpretations that allege
The ancient world believed the Earth to be flat.
many of us have been forced to keep digging. And a few of us come to recognize what the globe had been showing all along.
This is the hollow head. Actually, at the moment, it's a perfectly normal head of Charlie Chaplin, but wait, as it comes round, you'll see, or will you, that it's hollow. The back of it, coming round now, is actually a hollow mask. It appears to rotate in the opposite direction, and amazingly, the nose sticks out, although it's actually sticking in. Coming round now is the normal, correct as it were, face, and wait again as it comes round, and you'll see this extraordinary thing like Jekyll and Hyde. Both the noses stick out because it's so unlikely that a nose sticks in that the face is hollow. So you see it as convex, although it's in fact concave, as now, and then it'll become the normal face again, there. And note that as soon as the features appear in the hollow inside, it will look convex, as though it's a normal face almost, though it isn't. As soon as the features appear, there, your brain refuses to see it as hollow simply because it is so unlikely. And this demonstrates the immense power of top-down knowledge, which can actually counter signals bottom up from the senses and force an extraordinary illusion in which the sensory information of the present is cancelled by immense knowledge derived from the past, because you've seen so many faces, all with their noses sticking out. So it's just impossible to see that as correctly hollow. This demonstrates the immense power of top-down knowledge, which can actually counter signals bottom up from the senses and force an extraordinary illusion in which the sensory information of the present is cancelled by immense knowledge derived from the past. So it's just impossible to see that as correctly hollow.
are hundreds of antique maps of practically all nationalities made with this specific projection. We would expect to find a lot of information on it. But Wikipedia leads to dead end after dead end. Some of the most significant videos and articles relating to concave Earth tend to disappear. Longitude is a geographic coordinate based off of angular measurements that specify the east-west position of any point on Earth. Modern projections illustrate longitudinal divergence towards the center, while the maps of antiquity illustrate the opposite. This is one reason we observe different sized continents on different projections. These are more than old maps. They are works of art. The scale around the circumference of these maps have always reminded me of some sort of seal. Is it only coincidental that we find the same scale or seal on illustrations of the depicted celestial sphere? We also find them around the Copernican model. And constellations always tend to have a relation to the Earth. Before we can confirm any truth, we must first oppose it. My personal attempts to disprove concave Earth have only led to a never-ending series of overwhelming odds. We will barely scratch the surface in this first episode.
They actually have to lose up. They can fight 0 degrees. They actually have to lose up. They can fight.
So it can only pick up the ground clutter if the radar is angled low and it's not being bent. These beams are not being bent. And what do I mean by they're not being bent? Well, this is the explanation from an expert of why you can pick up ground clutter or balloons. When the sun goes down and the surface begins to cool, the change in the refractive index in the lowest few several hundred feet of the atmosphere tend to bend the radar beam toward the surface. This bending holds the radar beam near the surface for extended distances where it encounters scatters that would not normally be available above the boundary layer. These scatters include insects, bats, aerosols, can I say that again? Aerosols, particulate matter, etc., and account for the increased radar return, referred to as radar bloom. And now, here's the problem. The problem is that it's not the sun is not setting here in Texas right now. It's been like this all day, by the way, folks. It's midday right now. It's a beautiful day. The atmosphere is not cooling. So there is no reason why radar, regular Doppler radar, NEXRAD, at its usual angle should be picking this up right now.
They have to know this up.
All right, this is just a real quick video. Just want to show some biblical evidence for heaven being in the earth. I'm in Job 38, and I'm going to go to verse 33. This is the 1599 Geneva Bible. Knowest thou the course of heaven, or canst thou set the rule thereof in the earth? We've got the 1560 Geneva Bible. Job 38:33. Knowest thou the course of heaven, or canst thou set the rule thereof in earth? Next, we've got a regular 1679 King James. Job 38:33. Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth? Okay. Next, we've got at Sefer. Okay, Job 38:33. Know you the ordinances of heaven? Can you set the dominion thereof in the earth? Okay. So I've also got a Greek Septuagint here. Now, when you look up that verse, it's going to say something completely different. I've got the JPS Tanakh. Also, it's going to be worded differently. And I've also got the Interlinear Bible here. It's also going to be worded a little bit differently. In English, it says the heavens are in the earth. Just something to take note of. But for all those people that want to say that Scripture does not say that heaven is in the earth, well, you just got proved wrong.
This black spot right here is where the light has disappeared. It cannot penetrate this spot, nor can it exist here, because this is the point of centripetal convergence, where light is literally sucking down like a drain down a hole. Okay?
There's no inside structure. Yeah, there's only a surface. There's nothing inside. Is the sun actually combusting it out? It's not burning anything. There's no fusion in the sun. That's well understood. Proven. Yeah, well, there's just no way to prove that there is any. It's only in the flares that you get fusion. That's why all the X-rays. Flares, the arcs, and the X-rays, and the microwaves, and whatever result of fusion in the arcs. There's no fusion in the sun. They don't know how the sun works. What? What's special? How does the sun make light? What's it transform? Transforms from some other dimension. It's not burning anything. It doesn't have to. It's a converter.
At the center of every magnet, there is zero magnetism. You see that underneath the ferrocell. You can see that underneath magnetic viewing film. You could even see it if you were to bring two magnets together with a Gauss meter at the center. So, we know what's going to be at the center. Is there going to be a black spot or a gigantic disk of light? What do you think the answer is? We're creating one magnet out of two. You'll notice as I get it closer, hard to keep it from snapping together. I don't want to break the glass. That at first, the black hole gets a little larger. Notice the flux line is diverging. You see that? Now wait, what happens when I bring it together? Look at what's forming before I bring it together. You see that ring of light? As I get closer, let me get it so you can get a better view. As I get closer, the black turns into a ring of light. See if I can zoom in so you can see it. Here we go. Hold on a second. There we go. Ring of light. What you're seeing is the center of the magnet. These two magnets are now effectively one, even though they're separated by a couple of thin pieces of precision glass. The center where no magnetism exists, there's a halo of light. The dark lines represent centripetal convergence. The white lines represent centrifugal divergence. So what you're seeing in the white lines is true magnetism. No, they're moving in the exact same direction, only inverse to your spatial perspective. Nothing. Space is the air inside this donut. The cream filling inside the donut of magnetic divergence is literally the farts, the after effect, the remnant remains, the fecal matter of the loss of inertia, which necessitates magnetic divergence and reciprocation. As Faraday called magnetism, he called it the dielectric field. And oddly enough, one of the first experts in electrical engineering was the guy who got closest, even closer than Tesla, to understanding what magnetism was in its relationship to dielectricity, because only dielectricity exists. Love my flat Earth community because they're asking questions and they're, trying to get to the answers. But the truth of it is there is no scientific evidence to break down a flat torus field. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as something being a flat and three-dimensional object at the same time either. Because a lot of them say, well, it's hollow, but it's flat, but it's round, and it's this at the same time. That's absurd. I mean, how much more are you going to try and force things into your model of it being flat? It's not flat. It can't be flat. I'll explain why. When you break down these two pictures here, showing you field theory 101, this little orange or this greenish looking blue disc right here, I don't know if you can see that bluish disc right here, that's flat right there. This is where flat earthers say they live, on the flat part of a torus field. Okay? So what this is right here is this is the centripetal dielectric movement and zone right here. Centripetal dielectric movement and zone. Centripetal means in. So everything is converging inward, and that breaks it down right here. This is your dielectric plate right here. This greenish, bluish looking flat plate right here is this yellow right here. This is what you're seeing right here. So everything is centripetal. It's converging in on the center point. It's converging in on the center point. On the center point. On the center. Center. Center is the point of creation. Center. So everything's converging in at this center point, which is the dielectric field. It's destroying space, meaning, and this is where they say they live. So everything is sucking in. You can take your idea of a black hole, and this is exactly what you would get. You understand? So what this is, where they say they live, is in a chaotic state of a black hole, of nothingness. Nothing exists here. This is formless energy before it's cast out and expressed through magnetism.
He's not finding a truth. He's losing an illusion. The depictions of the Flummerian engraving state as followed. The medieval missionary says he has found the point where heaven and earth meet. The message couldn't be clearer. The dome was a facade, an illusion of the mind.
We would like to believe that perhaps there's a whole world of things beyond our sensory perception, or outside of our ability to understand.
I've heard the argument, and I did abide by it myself for a few years. Water always seeks its own level, right? There were several significant properties I completely ignored. Compression, electricity, magnetism, resonance, memory, and more. We'll delve into some of these and further on the next episode of The Cave. Thanks for joining me.
First-hand knowledge versus secondary knowledge. So this is a great quote. The true and essential knowledge is not, in its purest substance, ever available to man in the natural state. He must receive it by revelation, by vision, by intuition, by insight. He must in some way gain it by experience which he cannot share with others. He may attempt to share, but the moment a knowing passes from him to another, that which comes to him as knowing is accepted by that other as an acceptance or as an opinion or as interpretation or as belief. Therefore, that which we communicate can be believed by others, but that which we communicate can only be known to ourselves. Manly Hall. So, you don't know anything just because someone told you. That's the point. You can accept it. You can share their opinion. You can understand their interpretation, or you can believe that person. But you can't know it unless you do it yourself. So, I implore all of you to do it yourself. Do it yourself. Go ahead. Do it yourself. Do this yourself. Try it. See what happens. So that being said, I'm going to wrap up this this live stream. Maybe there's some new people that got a chance to learn from it. Yeah, so there you have it. All right, I love you guys. Have a good day.